Are you trying to increase your muscle endurance? It's something that a lot of us want to do, but how do we actually go about doing that? Well, I'm diving into all that, so strap in, get ready for episode 251. Let's go.
The future of fitness.
How do you gain muscle mass?
Fitness is not complicated. It's simple when you break it down.
There's so much information out there.
No fads, no diets, just plain simple habits.
You're listening to the Bones to Bulk podcast.
Hey, welcome to today's episode. My name is Brian Parody, and I will be your host today. And if this is your first time tuning in, welcome to the show. So glad to have you here. I try to really simplify fitness because I feel like it's overcomplicated. So I try to do that in small 10-minute or so episodes, keep it nice and bite-sized. For my return listeners, thank you for coming back. It means the world to me that you continue to tune in to this podcast. If you would, do me a huge favor real quick. Head on over to iTunes, leave us a review, an honest review of what you think about the show. That would mean the world to me, even if you don't listen on iTunes. If you have an Apple account, just head on over there, rate it, and leave a review. That would be great. Thanks so much. All right, with that being said, let's dive in. So when it comes to muscle endurance, what does that even mean? It means, how long we can actually lift. It means building up that endurance level. And endurance with anything is how long we can continue to do something before completely fatiguing, right? And so we want to be able to build that up to whether we're, trying to extend our gym sessions or whether we're just trying to be able to go harder, that muscle endurance is really going to come into play. So there's a lot of key things we can do to help build that. So number one, rest less. That's right, rest less. Rest less. That's kind of a tongue twister if you rest. I don't know. Anyway, you need to be resting less time in between your sets. Often it's easy to get distracted by our phones or get in conversation with someone. And before we know it, 3, 4, 5 minutes have gone by since our last set. And that is way too much time. Our muscles are completely cooled down and we're not doing anything to really keep that tension on the muscles or build muscle endurance. So first thing you want to do, I would suggest resting about 45 seconds in between sets. Make sure you keep a timer going so you can keep track of this, whether it's on your phone, whether you have a smartwatch, however you're doing it, keep track of your rest time, keep it to about 45 seconds in between each set. And then in between exercises, basically just long enough to re-rack your weights, wipe down whatever you're on, and then get to the next one and load it up. That's plenty of time in between different exercises. So don't rest more time than that. The next thing you can do is, whether you're doing bodyweight exercises or whether you're doing actual weightlifting, is pause during your reps. Now, this doesn't have to be on every single repetition. Let's say you're doing 10 reps. So I would say do 2 reps, and then on your third rep, pause for a second. And when I say pause, what I mean is, let's take the bicep curl, for example. You go all the way down, and then you start to come back up, and about halfway up is when you pause. So you want to pause while your muscles are under a lot of tension. You don't want to pause when you're in the deloading phase of the exercise. You want to pause right when it's under the most tension. So on that third rep up, I'm going to pause about halfway as I'm doing that bicep curl. Then I'm going to finish the curl and then go back down, do a couple more. And then on that 6th one, I'm going to pause again and just continue that. So do a couple reps, and then on your third rep of each one, do a pause. It's going to help a lot. You can do the same thing whether you're doing, again, weightlifting or if you're doing body exercises. Let's say you're doing push-ups. When you're in that down position, hold that position for a couple seconds and then continue your push-ups. When you're doing, let's say, a body squat, when you get in that bottom position, hold that for a couple seconds, then come back up. Again, these things are really going to build up that muscle endurance. So pausing is a great way to do that. Now, another way to do this is with HIIT style workouts. Now, I'm not a huge proponent of doing HIIT style full body workouts all the time. I don't think we should. I think it overworks the muscles. And if we do this day after day after day, it can lead to injury and all that. So I'm not a proponent of that, and I'm not recommending that. But what I am recommending is 1 to 2 days a week, do a faster paced workout. Now, the way I like to set these up is, let's say you're doing chest day, okay? So you're doing chest and triceps, and you do a bench press. So you're going to do all 3 sets of your bench press, or however many sets you're doing. Once you complete that exercise, before moving on to the next exercise, go and do something that's going to get your heart rate up. So maybe it's battle ropes, and then go and do that for, I would say, 3 sets at about 30 to 45 seconds each set. So you're going to go through those. Then when you get done with those, then go to your next exercise. So maybe your next exercise is skull crushers. You're going to do all 3 sets or however many you're doing of those. Then you're going to go back and you're going to do something else that's going to get your heart rate up. So let's say this time it's box jumps, and you'll do 3 sets of box jumps for 30 seconds each set. Then you'll go and do your next exercise. Let's say it's chest flies. You'll do all your sets of chest flies. Then you'll come back and you'll do something else that'll get your heart rate up. So maybe it's sled pushes this time. So you're constantly interspersing an exercise with something that's going to get your heart rate up. Now, your workout is going to be way more intense this way. You may not be able to lift as heavy. This shouldn't be one of your heavy lifting weeks that you do this in. Like if you're going for 1 rep maxes this week, then you probably don't want to be implementing this. But just on your regular maintenance level weeks, definitely do this at least 1 day a week. Put it right in the middle of your workout week, and it will be beneficial. I'm telling you, you're going to walk out of the gym sweating. You're going to be like, holy crap, I'm out of shape. That's how you'll feel. But that's a good thing because it pushes us. And again, it's going to build that muscle endurance. Now, another thing to implement is cardio. I'm not a huge cardio person. Like, I think cardio is great for us. It's great for our heart health. I don't do personally a ton of it. That's just me. I'm not saying you shouldn't. You definitely should be doing some cardio. But cardio can really help your muscle endurance because think about it. A lot of times when we're doing exercises, when we're doing workouts that are involving weightlifting, we get out of breath really easily, right? And so by doing cardio, that can actually help us. It's not necessarily building the muscles endurance levels, but it's building our aerobic level, that how long we can go without fatiguing. And so what that does is it translates over that we don't get tired as easy. So it's going to allow us to push a little bit heavier and a little bit harder with the weight. So that's why it's good to implement that. And I get asked all the time, like cardio, should I do it before weightlifting? Should I do it after weightlifting? There's no perfect answer. Like there really isn't. I personally, if you're doing cardio, I would recommend doing it after your weightlifting. Do, 45 minutes to an hour of weight training and then do 15 to 20 minutes of cardio. That's how I would set it up. And I would do cardio maybe 3 times a week if you're trying to do that. So Monday, your weightlifting and cardio. Tuesday, skip the cardio. Wednesday, weightlifting, cardio. Thursday, skip the cardio. Friday, weightlifting, cardio. That's kind of how I would set it up. As far as what type of cardio, do something you enjoy. Don't feel like you have to run. Don't feel like you have to bike. Like do something you enjoy. It could be walking. Walking is great. Set the treadmill on just a little bit of an incline and go. It could be rowing. It could be swimming. It could be getting out in your neighborhood and walking. It could be taking your bike for a stroll through the neighborhood. Like it doesn't have to be traditional, workout, cardio, just pounding the pavement, that type of thing. It can be a lot of different things. These are all really good things to implement if you're trying to build that muscle endurance. And again, it's going to take time, just like with everything. It's not like you're going to do this for 1 week and then just going to have all this endurance levels with your weightlifting and stuff. It's going to take time to build up to that. And of course, it always needs to be followed up by a proper diet, the right nutrition, because that's where, our body gets all of its fuel. That's where our body is capable of doing what we're trying to get it to do, is how we feed it. So definitely don't skip that part. All right, I hope you found this helpful. If so, then please, like I said, go leave us a review on iTunes. I would be greatly appreciative of that. And share this podcast with a friend. Anybody that you know who might benefit from it, just copy the link, send it to them, be like, hey, I was listening to this, and I think you might find it helpful. I would be greatly appreciative of that. With that being said, remember, no matter what you're facing, what walls you're coming up against, what things you're trying to overcome, you can accomplish any goal that you set your mind to. You've got this.